You know what? I guess I can, yeah, I can go on each little side. Oh, this might actually work okay. It worked. Well, look at that. A straight-ish wrench. I'm just gonna go a little bit on the other side. I imagine this probably doesn't have, like you can't bend this too much. It's cast iron, you know. But that looks pretty straight. Look at that.
That's a bit easier than I thought it would.
I know. That was kind of amazing.
Remember we had this at my house in Hillsboro?
Yeah.
What were we doing? And we were scared of it. It was popping. Oh, you're trying to push holes through metal.
Yeah, I was trying to punch holes through metal. We were at the scrapyard, and my mother spotted these. I didn't even notice I was walking over them. We have a 2 3/8, 1 1/2, 2 1/8, and then 2 1/4. Almost 2 3/8, but yeah, 2 1/4. So at least they're all different sizes, so that's helpful. And as you saw, me and my father straightened this with his hydraulic press. It was actually quite bent before. I imagine they probably had a big pipe on it and trying to pull it, but it went sideways. So it originally had black paint. So that's good to know, because I have some black paint I was wanting to try. You can see some of the black paint still on there. Might need a narrower, like on a Dremel bit, just to get in there. Or I could sandblast it, but I just didn't feel like going and getting the sandblaster out. The one problem with doing this outside is it still looks like there's a lot of rust on it. I think I just had a really great idea. Now as this thing dries, it can sit like that. That's awesome. I'm going to reuse this brush that I used for linseed oil. I tried washing it, but it kind of hardened up. But, oh, come on. Take a little bit of acetone and use that to wash this off. That should be good enough. Get a little bit more for the other one. I finally bought some enamel paint. These are for tractors. They're kind of hard to get. Well, at least only Rural King sells it. None of the hardware stores around here sell it, so I had to go over there to get it. But finally found some, and I'd like to try it on this first. I just realized it says minimum temperature 10 degrees Celsius. It's 9.5 degrees Celsius in here, but it's like 12 degrees Celsius outside. So once I paint this, I'll move this outside. Or I'll move this one outside and I'll keep this one inside, and we can see how that affects the paint. Well, well, well. Look at that. So I can actually paint it there, and then when I'm done, then I can hang it up. Pretty good. Oh yeah, it's already mixed up pretty well then. I can feel it. It appears that if it's too thin, it leaves the impressions of the bristles of the brush. But if you have it thick enough, after a few seconds, the surface tension of the paint actually thins it out and makes it nice and smooth. Mostly works. I think that's it. And you know this is thick enough to where it's not flowing, which is good. Well, shoot. Now we gotta clear out some space. Somewhere where I'm not going to get it in the head. Okay, so now this one, nope. Here's what I'll do. I'll just paint this side. Yeah, I'll be able to see the red a little bit. This brush is extremely hard. It's like a wire brush because it's got the linseed oil on it though. Like that. You know, what might be happening is whatever chemicals are in this enamel paint are dissolving the red paint underneath. So that's why whenever I brush, sometimes a little bit of red comes through. Maybe it's about time I start using all these bottles that I find in the woods. Well, glasses too, I guess. You know what I mean. Let's see for a little bit. I hate wasting that much acetone, but oh well, what are you going to do? Surprisingly, that worked. My experiments to reuse brushes so far, we're going on the third use for that. But I'm going to relegate this one just to that black enamel paint because there's little like black granules in here that I guess it balled up or something. Now I feel bad for wasting that much acetone to save like an 89-cent brush. It's probably $1 in acetone, unless I buy bulk. So what if I made a machine that when I was done with this like, dirty acetone, I pour it into the pan, and then as it evaporates, the acetone only evaporates, not the paint. And then it condenses on a Peltier cooler, which is colder, and goes back into a bottle for reuse. Like a little acetone distiller system.
but it just uses the ambient heat to distill it. Wow, even in 45 minutes it's all dry. I'll let it sit for a day though. Now this one is slightly tacky. That's 50 degrees versus 80 degrees. So it's been 24 hours. And I'm tempted to just leave it there, but you can see a little bit of the red paint coming through. So another coat would definitely be needed. But it's nice and hard and not tacky at all. And I think I can just let it sit out here. Maybe I should have let it sit a little longer. Any place that is pooling up, I'm just cleaning it off. Because I don't want super thick coats, I just want some nice thin coats. Looks like I forgot this outside in the rain last night. Oh, I guess I forgot my chair too. Oh well, it was in a barn for years. It'll survive. Looks pretty good to me. It had about 12 hours to finish though, so it's not too bad. No wonder it was hard enough. It's just wet, that's all. And you know, it's actually not rusting that much for being out in the rain. And that's just red paint left over. A little bit of rusting, ever so slight. That might just be some wood. Now the reason I didn't paint the jaws is because I don't think it'd be good to have paint on them, and then whenever I'm doing a bolt, the paint like rubs off or breaks off or whatever. So for that, I'll find some sandpaper. Looks like I might still have some life in it. That is some hard stuff. The paint doesn't come out very easily. Let's try 100 grit maybe. I might be able to get away with wire wheeling it, but I'm afraid that I'll mess up the paint around it. I do love how hard that paint sticks. It didn't fully dry, so that's good. A little bubble. And now for the WD-40. Oh, it's out of pressure. I'll have to open that one up and get the WD-40 out. My workshop is, I have a dehumidifier in here, so that should help keep it from rusting. And the WD-40 will be good enough for a while, and I'll just put more on it later. But looks like it is scuffed a little bit. So it probably has another day to really cure properly. But it's been 24 hours since the last coat, and I'm happy with that. Whenever I find my little circular brush meant for like cleaning battery terminals, I'll clean that out and put some paint in there. But for now, it doesn't really matter. For scale comparison. Little Billings wrench, 7/16. I might write on here the measurements whenever I get some white enamel paint and a fine brush and I can paint it on. There's always little marks that they look weird because they're, well, it's so reflective, you know, and I look at it and I think like, oh, there's a speck that I missed or something, but it's just reflection. Now I need to find a way to hang these up. That'll be easy. These ones, maybe I should weld a loop into them, because this one's just obviously cut like with a CNC torch thing or a water cutter. What do you bet? 1960s, 1990s? I don't know. Or maybe newer. Maybe like 2000s and 1970s. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya!